what's up guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to protests against ICE raids are spreading across the country. I've been seeing stuff the last few days about like in the US. So ICE are like the organization or the I guess however you put it, that are for immigration, right? So I guess with like Trump, he's obviously got these much stricter immigration rules, etc. And I guess it's leading to what's happening now. And then I've not really seen what's happening, but I've seen stuff to do with like curfews in LA or in California. I think it's in LA only. And I'm like, okay, this is a bit mad. What's going on here? And I've not really looked into it because I want to see what's going on throughout these reactions. But this is obviously a very touchy topic. It's going to be one of those things where people will be very split in the comments because it's a very divisive thing. But I want to see what's going on, and yeah, I feel like it's a hot topic that I think I want to just do a reaction to. But I don't know much about what's going on other than maybe it's just to do with those laws. It says here that hundreds take to the streets in Chicago, New York City as well. So I guess it was starting in LA and now it's sort of spreading. But we're going to see what's going on, because I think I saw like a week ago like videos of like, was it the National Guard or like the police driving through somewhere in the US and they were getting things thrown at them, and I didn't know what that was about. I didn't know anything about the situation, and I sort of have a brief understanding, and that is literally it. It's a very limited understanding. So we're going to check this out and see, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
We're covering the breaking news, the protests here in Los Angeles, where we are anticipating a decision any minute regarding a curfew here in Los Angeles, which would take effect.
When was this video made? This is 11 hours ago. Is this a bit late? This is probably not up to date, is it?
Tonight, as darkness falls where we are. So as we anticipate that decision coming any moment, clear that the mayor of Los Angeles supports it. We've got live pictures of protesters in New York and Chicago filling the streets. In fact, new video just into out front of a car in Chicago moving through a protest. It appeared to push a few sign holders there in the protest in Chicago before then speeding away. So unclear exactly what we were seeing there. Also, large protests underway in New York City, protesting Trump's deportation and the use of ICE officers with those ICE raids. Shimon Prokupez is out front in New York City. Whitney Wild is out front in Chicago. I want to begin, though, with you, Shimon, in New York. And what are you seeing there?
So, Aaron, one of the largest protests that this city has seen in quite some time. This protest has stretched for blocks from each side of the avenues, from 6th Avenue. We're now on Hudson.
I mean, look, I want to see this, but I also want to see, like, the chaos that's been happening. I'll be honest, I'm a fiend for chaos. I obviously don't want it to be happening, but that's what I want to see. Like, obviously I can see this, I can see the protests and stuff, that's all over the internet. I want to see like what was at the start, that car just sort of doing mad shit, and also hearing like, I guess this sort of stuff.
If there's peace, we get out. If there's even a chance of no peace, we stay there until there's peace.
That was very much.
This comes as Trump made it clear today his intention to use the military for political purposes. Tom Foreman is out front.
Thousands of National Guard troops and hundreds of Marines have been called to Los Angeles by President Trump, who insists only military muscle can contain the trouble.
So this is what I want to see then. Is there like a lot of is there like rioting going on? Is there protests? Is it just protests, or is it one of those things where the protests and then it's just sort of leading to some people just doing crazy stuff? If that's the case, then I guess that's a situation where you'd probably want to get people involved, right? Like, I don't fully know, but I remember with the London riots, which is obviously for a much different reason, but they were burning shit, things were getting set on fire, like it was actually crazy, and I was so young when that was happening. But in that situation, I don't even know what happened in the end. I think they must have got the army involved, but I don't fully know. But like, obviously, if it's just protests, which I guess is probably where it's going to be, where people disagree, then is getting the army involved or the National Guard the right thing to do? I'd probably say not. But then if it's going over the top and people are doing like just insane things, damaging things, and just causing chaos, I guess that's a situation where you'd want to involve the National Guard, but.
Send out the National Guard, and last time we gave them a little additional help. Los Angeles would be burning right now.
But local officials say police were already dealing with sporadic violence around the largely peaceful protest, which they say were spurred by the White House's desperate and clumsy quest to increase deportations.
People have asked me, what are the Marines going to do when they get here? That's a good question. I have no idea.
It underscores Trump's long-standing interest in using the U.S. military even against Americans. For example, when Black Lives Matter protesters rose up in 2020, Trump reportedly considered deploying troops and asked his then defense secretary, can't you just shoot them? Just shoot them in the legs or something? Trump denies such tales, but just last fall, when asked about potential election unrest, he said,
we have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military.
He has stretched norms by sending thousands of troops to America's southern border, by planning a massive parade of military force, and by ignoring former chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Mark...
I mean, I kind of understand the immigration issue, right? Like, obviously, in terms of the border, maybe there's ways to go about it better, like not putting your army there, but I understand why. Like, there's obviously issues in regards to people going into the US and it's not being regulated and stuff like that. I think a lot of countries can relate to that. Obviously, just with the US, they're on the border with Mexico, which is then obviously linked to South America. So there's a lot of stuff going on there, and that region is known. I mean, it's a beautiful region, right? There's a lot of beauty there, but there's also a lot of wars and stuff like that, right? So there's people that will be trying to leave for many different reasons, and in that you'll get people that are not there for the best intentions. So I can't like say I can't really speak from an American's perspective, but if that was me, I would want probably some sort of thing being done to try and combat like this massive influx of people. I guess it's just maybe the way it's being done, which I can also understand.
Milley, who said standing beside Trump for a photo op against the backdrop of the Black Lives Matter protest.
Okay, I'm not really here for this. I want to see, how do I search this up? LA protests. Actually, yeah, you do it. There you go. Very easy. LA protests. So 700 Marines. So this is actually
the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, who's a Democrat, has sued President Trump over his deployment of the national...
Wait, they can sue each other?
Huge police presence in this city, with reinforcements brought in as the authorities try desperately to contain the violence. Overnight, once again, protesters threw fireworks, and the police responded with force, making a number of arrests.
Oh,
but an already tense situation triggered
the
by
horse
the
is just stepping on
workplace
people.
raids and arrests of undocumented immigrants.
This is what I was seeing, this sort of stuff, but it was from like the view of the people doing it, and I was like, what's going on? I guess it now makes sense.
Complex political dimension.
Like, I now understand what it was.
The National
situation.
Guard, a reservist military force, is often used to respond to natural disasters and is normally called in by state governors. Not this time. For the first time in 60 years, a US president has ordered them in, while members of his administration warn that anyone who gets in the way, even senior politicians, face arrest.
Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy.
It's a threat that's been met with a furious response from California's governor, speaking to MSNBC.
The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up. They need to stop. And we need to push back. And I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting. So, Tom, arrest me.
Then this from President Trump. Asked if the governor should be arrested, I would, he replied.
He's an incompetent governor. Look at the job he's doing in California.
Bro, this is crazy. They're just fucking going at it. Obviously, Trump's the president, right? So he is like the guy who's going to be dictating. But what is the situation around this? Could he theoretically get the Gavin Newsom guy arrested? Or like, obviously, maybe there's got to be stuff to actually arrest him. Like they talk like this to each other like they're fucking enemies. They literally, it's the same country. I mean, the UK gets pretty bad, but they're literally. I mean, I guess the US works state by state. It's not all like obviously it's the same. It's all under one country, but each state works somewhat separately, right? So it is hard to compare. But I'm trying to think of that in the UK. You obviously get like disagreements and stuff, but they're talking about arresting each other, or him getting arrested, and Trump saying, "Yeah, let's arrest him." Like fucking hell.
He's destroying one of our great states, and if I didn't get involved, if we didn't bring the Guard in. And we would bring more in if we needed it, because we have to make sure there's going to be law and order. You had a disaster happening.
Well, the streets of downtown LA are littered with the debris of last night's trouble. If you just, anywhere you look, you pick them up, you've got the
Rubber bullets?
hundreds and hundreds of these baton rounds, rubber bullets, the canisters from which they've been fired, and also rocks, which we've seen protesters sometimes throwing at the police. It's quiet at the moment, but these officers have been drafted in from neighbouring police forces as this city braces for more trouble today.
Wait,
One sign
so,
of just...
Wait, from neighbouring police forces? So the National Guard isn't the army, it's just people from other police forces? I'm so dumb, boy.
How dangerous things have become. This reporter from the Australian Channel 9 News was hit by a rubber bullet live on air.
What the
This
fuck?
city now finds itself at the centre of an escalating political fight between a president and a governor. In response to Mr. Trump's comments about his arrest, Gavin Newsom said this was a day he hoped he'd never see in America. In many ways...
Again, this explained that I want to see... I mean, look, to that person getting shot is pretty mad. Okay, this is what... The Sun. Okay, the Sun is a bit of a dog shit UK outlet, but if they're showing me some stuff that I want to see... Oh, I'm going to turn the music off. Unless someone's talking. No, no one's talking. Texas as well. Wait, when was this made? Just so I can see. 2 hours ago. Okay, this is very up to date then. So all the major cities are pretty much seeing riots now, right? So it's really interesting how they've just sort of spread. People are obviously reacting. Sixth day. Holy shit. So is the curfew then imposed by LA itself? Or is it forced to impose it by the government, like people sort of obviously in charge of the country? Or the National Guard? I'm trying to understand.
Are vandalized. Last night there were 23 businesses that were looted. And I think that if you drive through downtown LA, the graffiti is everywhere and has caused significant damage.
So it is getting a bit crazy then. So maybe at this point it probably is good if people are there to try and prevent it, no? I mean, if people are causing damage, which is what I'm saying, you don't want that at all. Let's be real.
To businesses and a number of properties. So my message to you is, if you do not live or work in downtown LA, avoid the area. Law enforcement will arrest individuals who break...
The fuck is that? Bro, what is that? Oh, so loud. It's getting picked up by the mic. I apologise for that. It's outside. Someone's chainsawing, I'm pretty sure.
The curfew, and you will be prosecuted.
Bro, what the fuck are they doing? Oh god, that's so loud. I'm going to try and get through this video and then I'll probably have to stop.
Hundreds of officers from police and sheriff departments from across the region and state are working alongside LAPD through a unified command structure. The curfew will be in place tonight from 8 p.m. until 6 a.m.
Damn, that's wild. In LA, a curfew. 197 people arrested. Fucking hell.
Hitting the chest. We're wearing Kevlar. Okay. That's why I'm fucking wearing it.
I mean, you are kind of in the line of fire. I understand it's obviously not what you want. Yeah, this is the one that I saw, isn't it? That's crazy. So it's going to be happening throughout the US then, not just LA, throughout the country and other cities as well.
Before going further, I want to say a few words about the situation in Los Angeles, California. Have you heard of the place? Where I've deployed thousands of National Guard troops and hundreds of Marines to protect federal law enforcement from the attacks of a vicious and violent mob. And some of the radical left, they say, oh, that's not nice. Well, if we didn't do it, there wouldn't be a Los Angeles. It'd be burning today, just like their houses were burning a number of months ago. Generations of Army heroes did not shed their blood on distant shores only to watch our country be destroyed by invasion and third world lawlessness here at home, like is happening in California. As Commander-in-Chief, I will not let that happen. It's never going to happen. What you're witnessing in California is a full-blown assault on peace, on public order, and on national sovereignty carried out by rioters bearing foreign flags with the aim of continuing a foreign invasion of our country. We're not going to let that happen. Under the Trump administration, this anarchy will not stand. We will not allow federal agents to be attacked, and we will not allow an American city to be invaded and conquered by a foreign enemy. That's what they are. A lot of those people were let in here by the Biden administration. They just poured right in.
I'm actually surprised there's not actually been any deaths, as I know, I mean, I'm assuming that's not been the case as of yet, because especially in the US, like, so many people own guns. I'm surprised it's not got to that stage, and I hope it doesn't, because in a country like America, like, this stuff could turn so sour. Like, you have like riots that happened in Paris very recently, and they can be very damaging in any city, right? Because riots are going to be awful anywhere, but in the US, like, it could get so fucking bad if just a few people lose their minds, or they do something. I say do something wrong. I don't know. Maybe a police officer does something that then causes an even bigger outcry, outrage. You got to be careful, especially in America. But I really hope it doesn't get to that point. And as I know of yet, it's not got to that point yet. There's not been any deaths, because it would probably be here. But you never know, man.
Donald Trump, without consulting California law enforcement leaders, commandeered 2,000 of our state's National Guard members to deploy on our streets, illegally and for no reason. This brazen abuse of power.
So I'm confused. So he's saying that he like obviously they don't want that, and this and that's illegal. And then I thought he's the California one. She's the mayor of LA. What's that? Where is she? Was she in this video? Yeah, her. Karen Bass. Oh, okay. So he's like above her then. So she's complaining about what's happening and what they're doing. Like, she's saying all of like these things are being damaged. People are like spray painting, like looting, stuff like this. So she's saying things that I'm like, okay, if that's the case, you probably want people to interfere. But then he's saying this. So I don't know what to sort of take from this then, because it's sort of like differing points of view, unless I'm missing something.
Sitting president inflamed a combustible situation, putting our people, our officers, and even our National Guard at risk. Just yesterday, we filed a legal challenge to Donald Trump's reckless deployment of American troops to a major American city. Today, we sought an emergency court order to stop the use of the American military to engage in law enforcement activities across Los Angeles. If some of us could be snatched off the streets without a warrant, based only on suspicion or skin color, then none of us are safe. And we all know this.
Bro, this is getting crazy,
He's
man.
ordering our American heroes, the United States military, and forcing them to put on a vulgar display to celebrate his birthday, just as other failed dictators have done in the past.
Bloody
California
hell.
may be first, but it clearly will not end here. Other states are next. Democracy is next.
Flipping hell, man. This is getting crazy. Holy shit. I mean, there's a lot more to it. This is absolutely out of hand. They're so are they? This is absolutely out of hand. They are protesting that they aren't criminals, but they're being criminals. So, is it then a case of like, so were the National Guard then called before any like sort of looting and stuff happened, and then as a result that's caused like people to then do stuff like that? Is that sort of how it is? Like it's enraged people to then do, like, that's now led to that? I'm trying to understand it, right? Because if it's just people protesting, right, and you're getting this called them, that is obviously just, it's quite a scary thing to be honest, especially in America, which is like the land of what the fuck is it? Like, right, freedom of speech. I guess that counts as freedom of speech, right? You can protest and that. So it's a very, obviously it's a very touchy subject, but depending on what the real situation is, yeah, it's still one of those things that will piss people off, and I understand it, right? Because if you're not allowed to protest, then what are you allowed to do? Because this is a thing that's going to affect so many people. But yeah, they're getting into a war of words for sure. It's definitely going to turn even more sour, which is crazy to think because it's already very fucking sour. Right, this is very sour. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll probably look into this over the next few days to see what sort of happens next. But let me know your thoughts. Please educate me more on this, and try not to kill each other in the comments because it's going to be so split, and I understand that. But I wanted to learn about it. I don't really think I have learned about it, to be honest. I've seen a bit here and there, and I can see it's getting very feisty, to say the least. But yeah, there's definitely more to it than what I'm seeing here. But that's pretty much it. Until next time, peace.